live. Okay, so I'm trying to get my screen to match so I can keep track of everything here. Hang on, hopefully you guys can hear me. There we go, now I see it. So I'm live. Can everyone hear me? Just put a thumbs up or some emoji. Because I can't hear myself. And my screen, there we go. I want to do this. Hey Trisha, hi Chit-Chat down under. Michelle from Wavy Like the Ocean. Jocilla, Jocilia, she was here first. Thank you for joining us today. Let me see. This is kind of weird because I have everything turned down. I can't hear myself. That's funny. So we're just going to wait until we get a couple more people in here. And I want to see how I'm looking at the screen. Okay, it's okay. Wow. All right. Let's see here. Let's see all my junk back here. I'm a crafter, so I have stuff everywhere. Sorry. Loud and clear. Thank you, Tina. That's Tina from Trendy to True North. So I recorded another video today that I'm going to put up probably after this, trying to get some more views in and videos in before the end of the month. The last day's tomorrow. So we're trying to do that. Let's see. Hi, Just Jen. Hi. Welcome, everyone. Let's see here. Loud and clear. Just give it a few more minutes here, or a minute at least. I'm still kind of like new to, it's been a while, I should say, since I used this StreamYard. And I just want to make sure that I'm doing it right. I want to see all the chats. See all live chats. Okay, there we go. We have Trisha's house, Wavy Like the Ocean, Chit-Chat down under, Ollie, Joe, Cecilia, Trendy True North, Just Jen, Melissa, hi, welcome, Marsha, The Glass House, hi, from Fairbanks, Alaska. You guys having any warm spells up there? Hi, Jesse. Goddess, hi, Goddess, and everybody's there. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to come on and say hello and kind of catch up, answer any questions you might have about, what's been going on. I've had a lot of support. People have been sending cards, gifts. I did open them up in the video that I should be releasing tonight with a Michael's grab bag, mystery grab bag I got. And just wanted to catch up, answer questions. My husband is home now after having his life-altering event. It was very, very scary, and just we did not know what to expect. He really even couldn't communicate really clearly, I say, until like a week ago. He was still very foggy. He was communicating, but he was still very foggy as much as a week ago. He came home on Monday. Oh my gosh. Hi, Linda. I hope you're feeling better. Crazy Mimi Up is in the house, and she has not been feeling good. So I'm glad to see you, Linda. I hope things are getting better. Oh, I'm sending prayers to you, Trisha. It's not an easy thing to go through. Thank you, Chit-Chat down under. She said, great seeing you, Laura. Yes, Jesse, it's been crazy. So that was Memorial Day afternoon. And what happened was we were home, and we had a great morning. Things were going good. I'm actually in the room where he was removing a ceiling fan, a ceiling light, and we were going to put up a new ceiling fan and light. Actually, some people from his work came over Friday and put it in, finished the install 2 days ago. Wow. I'm so sorry about that, Trisha. That's a hard thing to go through with 2 heart attacks in the family 2 months apart. They do say that when one spouse has a heart attack, it's highly likely, and it's probably due to stress, that the other spouse can actually have a heart attack. And after that first week, I mean, I kept thinking, oh my gosh. I kept I kept stressing out because I thought, man, I feel like I hope nothing's going on. But I just didn't even I couldn't even I just had to calm down because I have teenagers, I had my husband, like who's gonna take care of things, and I can see how that can happen in families, that 2 heart attacks can happen in the same family in a short period of time. Hi, Angel Mama, Moon Song. Hello, welcome everybody. Cheryl for is that Cheryl for Peace? Hi, Cheryl. Oh no, that's terrible, Trisha. So yeah, he was doing the fan, and then he sat down and he started to really perspire, and I thought it gets hot in this room, and I thought he must be just overheated, and he was frustrated because swapping out light fixtures from one that was in the house for many years to a brand new isn't usually the easiest thing to swap out. There's usually different things don't line up right. So he was frustrated with that. And so that I just kind of thought it was that. Plus he wasn't telling me how he was really feeling. So that is another thing. But of course now I'm way more aware of symptoms, what to look for, and how he should feel, even if he can't communicate that or doesn't. So he sat down on the sofa, had a wet washcloth, and I was on the phone with Linda from Crazy Mimi Up at the time. And I go, Linda, I have to go. I don't think Bob's feeling good. And can somebody text Tammy Quinn? She's asking me what happened. She's on the live, but I think she needs to just be, shown how to like recycle or just redo that. What's it called? I can't even speak. It's called just like reload the page. So maybe she closes it out and comes back in. Thanks, Jen. Hi, Andrea. Yes, we're happy he's home. And so he was perspiring, and I said, wow, what's going on? Well, in hindsight, he was having a heart attack. He was conscious and having a heart attack at that time. And I said, he goes, yeah, I'm just overheated and my arm hurts. Another sign. And it was his right arm. And he goes, but he has shoulder problems too. So I just kind of thought he strained his shoulders with his arms up above his head while he was doing the fan. And it turned out that he was having a heart attack. And he goes, can you get my cloth re-wet to cool him down? And I'm like, yeah. So I went, got that cold again and put it on his forehead. He goes, oh, that feels good. And then I sat down on the table, which was facing behind him. So I saw his back in the recliner chair as he was watching TV. And then all of a sudden I heard this snoring, like this really deep, unusual noise. Which now again, hindsight, I realized he was taking his last breath. And I go, are you snoring over there? And I got up and I walked around the sofa, and he was already like turning gray and clenched like he had a stroke or a seizure or something, or a heart attack. And so I had my phone in my hand, and I immediately called 911, and I was just begging them on the phone and talking to him and begging him and begging God, no, not at this time. And they had me get him on his side. Well, a local Idaho ISP, sheriff's, what is it called, police, Idaho State Police, overheard the EMS 911, call out or whatever. And so he had an AED that can shock the heart. And yeah, I was there. And hi, Beverly. Hi, Kitty. Hi, Wendy. And what happened was they were like trying to get me ready to do CPR on my husband. And I'm like, hurry, he's turning gray, he's turning gray. I knew he was dying in my hands, and I was just screaming at the phone. And they're like, ma'am, you're going to have to calm down. And I'm like, I know, but I can't. And my kids were in the house, but my son was listening to music really loud upstairs. My daughter was in the shower. Thank God my daughter missed it all. She was in the shower, and my husband, right then, that ISP, he runs into the house. Like he just came running into the house. And I was so happy to see him. And we got him on the floor. By then, my son heard something and heard the EMS come up. He comes running down the stairs, and we get him on the floor. The three of us get him on the floor. And the guy starts to, take his shirt off and hi, Tammy, welcome. Gets his shirt off and starts to put the pads on to give him an electric shock. I was just, thank God he was still there. Honestly, I feel so weak saying this, but I don't think I could have done CPR. I was so too emotionally attached, and I was so grateful. Everybody came when they needed to come to help me, and he shocked him. And by then, the rest of the EMS team came in. Hi, Trendy Finds, and and then they worked on him for the next 30 minutes in the house because they could not get a rhythm to stay. And they used this thing it's nicknamed called the thumper. And what it is, it's like a half moon apparatus that goes around the chest, and it's like elevated, and it has this great big pounding thing. And that does the compressions on the heart. And that gives the proper compressions. I want you to know that if you ever, don't cry, Trendy, don't, because I'm telling you, everything worked out. It was I'll see that scene in my head for a long time. But the thumper, when it was going on, it does proper compressions. And when it does proper compressions, I don't know if everybody knows this, when you do CPR properly or you have the thumper on you, it will break the ribs. And that's how you know you got proper compressions. If you don't have those deep compressions on the heart, you can't keep that blood and oxygen flowing. And if you can't do that, there's not a lot of chances left. Okay. So you have to it will break the ribs. It will do that. And it causes some other things that happened to my husband as well. And, but it saved his life. And I just want you guys to know, like, yesterday, was it yesterday? I think it was Friday night. I spoke with that ISP, the Idaho State Police officer. I spoke with him on the phone. He'd been calling my husband's work, trying to reach me, because in his 20 years of experience, he's never had to actually shock anybody. He's pulled it out. He's pulled out the AED, he's put it on, but it never gave the instructions to shock until he met my husband and had to do it. So it was kind of traumatic for him, and he had to go through that whole experience. And then EMS showed up. I looked at my 911 call on my phone to see how long it was, like 2 weeks later, because I couldn't bring myself to go look at that, but there's so much other stuff going on. And it was 6 minutes. And I did not speak on that phone for the last minute because I just dropped the phone when everybody got in there, and they were moving me away from my husband. But so they were there super fast. And that means that ISP guy was there super fast. And they just, it totally saved his life. Everything happened to save his life. And then on top, so what happened was they worked on him for 30 minutes in the house. I was devastated. I thought I was losing my husband in my house. And then they were like, trying to get him stabilized just to get him into the ambulance, which they never did get him stabilized. So they put the thumper on him. That did the chest compressions to keep his heart going and got him into the ambulance. And then they got him to our local hospital, which is not equipped for really anything like that. But we do have a helo pad, and we have a medevac and life flight here. So because we have the ski mountain, there's a lot of accidents, whatever. So we have life flight right here. So they had to work on him another 30 minutes in that hospital, the local hospital, and get him just to get him into the helicopter. So they did that. They flew him down to a hospital about 40 minutes away from the house. So the kids and I get in the car and we drive. And I should have called somebody, but I didn't, because I didn't know who to call at that time, who to bother. I didn't want to bother anybody, because that's what you're thinking. You're thinking about all that, you know? And praise be. Yes, I'm just going to catch up on the chat here real quick, because I have my computer down here and then I have the recording from the phone up there. Yeah, it saved his life, Cheryl, no doubt. Hi, Holler Time. Hi, Amy. It was just, so they got him down to the hospital. We drove down, and they got it before we got there, me and the kids. By the way, my daughter is coming out of the shower, and EMS is pulling their father out into the ambulance. She's like, what's going on? And so I caught her up real fast. We got into the car, we got down there. He had already been brought into the cath lab, where they insert a catheter up through his heart to put his stent in. They found he had 100% blockage. Oh, hold on. We're going to pause this a second. I have a guest right here. I think you might want to see him. I can't even believe it. This is
Hello,
my husband,
everybody.
Rob.
Proof I am still alive.
This is him. This is my husband. He made it.
I want to thank everybody for all your prayers and well wishes. I'm doing a lot better, get a little better every day. There's probably going to be a couple more weeks before I'm back to almost normal. But once again, I appreciate everything everybody's done for me, and glad to be here.
Yes, we are. We're glad to have you, honey. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by.
Love you.
Love you too. Yeah, he looks really good, doesn't he? Can you believe it? It's totally a miracle. He looks great. He looks great. So they got him into the cath lab. They found 100% blockage on his right artery, put his stent in, and he wasn't responsive. They didn't know how long his brain had gone without oxygen. They didn't know how or if he would recover. He was not responding. Thank you, Beverly. Hi, Greta. He was not responding to pain stimulation. They were trying to wake him up after that procedure. He would not wake up. He was not sedated. He did not have any kind of medication to sedate him at that moment. That was that Monday night, Memorial Day. And so the kids and I went in and told him how much we loved him. We talked to him a little bit. And you do, Melissa? Well, he's a miracle for sure. Melissa says she works in a cardiac cath lab and she sees miracles like this every day. Yeah, he looks great. And so that Monday night, we basically went in and just told him we loved him. I would never say it's okay to go, because I didn't believe it was his time to go. So I wasn't releasing him from this life yet. I just couldn't. And so I know when my mother struggled with cancer in her last days, they say you need to let her go. You need to this is, going to happen. And I knew that. And I gave her the peace that she needed. But with my husband, I just couldn't. I didn't believe it yet. So I didn't say that night. And I put out the message for everybody to pray. Everybody was praying. I talked to his work, his boss, who are friends of ours, and everybody else. And everybody started praying. Everybody started praying. We were on so many prayer lists. Kitty had us on prayer lists. Crazy Mimi up. Tammy, Jen, every one of you prayed for him. I know it. And I went in on Tuesday morning, and he was awake. He was on the ventilator. He probably had some people get an IV. He had 8 different types of things connecting to him. And then, he'd opened his eyes and I couldn't believe it. And of course, he couldn't speak with the ventilator, but we still didn't know. And he was very slowly, not really following commands at that time. And so it was about 2 more days. He started to really grip your hand or follow left or right, blink. He was able to do that. And then I would say by Wednesday or Thursday, they took the vent out. Oh my gosh, my cousin's on here. Hi, Kathleen. Thank you for joining us. She actually worked as a cardiac nurse for 20 or 30 years. She did that a long time. And I love you too, Kathy. Thank you. So they took him off the vent like by Thursday, I think. And then he was having a lot of AFib, a lot of problems breathing, and wasn't really doing great. Then they did some 30 years. Okay. Then they did some scans, MRI of his brain, scans of his chest. They found that with the compressions on his chest, of course, we knew it broke all his ribs, but that confirmed it. And it had filled up, and forgive me, Kathy, I know I'm not really good at this, but the sac that your lungs sit in, it was filled with blood and it had collapsed his lung. His one side was collapsed fully and the other side was collapsed just a little bit. So they had to put the drainage tubes into his lungs. And they did have to put him back on the vent because they found he had some mini strokes going on and they wanted to get him calmed. Oh, I want to back up a little bit. They did this like thermal cooling of the body those first 3 days. Probably the first whole week he had those cooling pads on where it was all like controlled electronically to keep his body into a sub like normal temperature chill. And that was to help minimize the damage to the brain and give brain some time to heal. And I really believe in that therapy. I think that helped him too. Anyway, so he was in the ICU. Finally, he had to go back on the vent. And then he came off of it, I say like 12 days later altogether. Then he had a feeding tube. He had all this other stuff going on. He was in the ICU for 13 days. And then regular floor or mid-level for like 2 or 3 days. And then another miracle. I didn't realize this. We have one of the best rehab facilities here in the Northwest, countrywide, like the whole nation. It's one of the best. It's in the top 5. And we were able to get him over there, and they worked with him for 2 weeks. And he came home this Monday. Tomorrow's a week home. And I would say he still tells me like he was still pretty groggy that first couple days home. And I could tell every day, I feel like more of his personality is coming back, more of his self. I don't know if you were on here, Kathy, but he came in and said hello. So we were able to he said hello and thank you to everybody for prayers and everything. So, yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's Crystal. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Lori. Oh, hi, Lori. Hello, cuties. Holler time. Yeah. Hi, Lori. Daniel. Yeah, you guys have been great. So that's pretty much the story. I mean, he had everything going. They worked. So getting him at a rehab facility versus like a skilled nursing was way better because they had at least 3 hours plus of physical OT speech therapy throughout the day. And it was always in the morning, which is good because he's a morning person and he was the freshest. And man, that place was hopping there. It's 30 beds, so we got lucky, and they're nice rooms. The food was pretty good for everything that he was going through. By the end, though, he was ready to have that feeding tube out. He couldn't get it out until almost like 4 days before he came home, and it was just amazing. It's just the whole thing, man, it really puts your life into perspective. But I do want to talk to you a little bit about that. Like, you don't have to wait for an emergency to do some certain things, because at some point we are all gonna die. I mean, that's the circle of life. But if you have kids and a spouse, there's certain things that you should documents you need to have. Because I definitely didn't have them, and like what's it called, advanced directive, a POA. As a spouse, you do have certain rights, and we have things set up anyway where I manage all the finances anyway. I have access to everything. But like your vehicles or something, say you have to sell something. If the title says end, like his name and my name, and I didn't have the proper documentation, I'd have to go through a long process to get access to sell that vehicle, or if I had to. But and same with the mortgage and things like that. So these POAs and advanced directives you can have in place prior to any emergency, or maybe you never need them. That would be better, but you should have them in place prior, because I had to try to talk to VA and trying to talk to other places. They were not honoring anything I had, and I didn't have those documents, the proper documents. But the hospital had given me documents because they said, "Oh, in state of Idaho, you don't need anything." I'm like, I think I do. And they're like, "No, we'll just write you a letter." So they did. Of course, the VA doesn't care about that letter. That made no difference. The coloring books will travel. Hello. Are you from Canada too? Wow, I have lots of Canadians on here. And I'm so close to the border. Yes. I bet you have, Trendy. The VA is a pain. Oh, gosh. I love you too, Canada. But you know what? You guys come down here and speed all the time. The Canadians on this coast side, oh my gosh, because I'm only about 70 miles from the Canadian border. And oh, I should tell you the story. Tammy knows the story because I was on the phone with her going, F. I was talking on the phone, driving to see Bob, because I went every single day because I knew it helped to know that I was there with him. And I was getting pulled over. I was getting a ticket. I was going to get a ticket. I was getting pulled over. And I said, Tammy, I have to go. And so I got pulled over by a female ISP. And now the ISP so the state police and there's local police. Local police, your fines usually aren't as high. State police, they're going to be high. So that was another thing. I was like, and I was speeding. I was talking to Tammy, and I wasn't paying attention apparently. And what happened? Yeah, I'm going to blame you, Tammy. So what happened was, and she was female, and I didn't, I didn't think. And so she asked me where I was going, what was going on. And so I explained to her about my husband and what was going on. And she took my license and registration, went back to her car, and she came back, and I saw a paper flying in the wind. I thought, yep, I'm getting a ticket. And she goes, I'm just going to give you a warning because you have enough on your plate right now. It was the kindest, like, I'm not speeding ever again. That was like, I really needed that break, and I needed that lesson too. So don't speed out there, everybody. Don't speed. Lake Cupid. Hi. Right? Tammy goes, it's not going to be the first time somebody would blame her. That woman had a heart. Yes, she had a heart. She really did. And I wasn't even full blown crying, but I did tear up a little bit talking about my husband. So it all worked out. Yes, she did. She really did. She must have seen something when she read my name. I don't know, but she helped me out. So I'm using StreamYard for this video. And I think I have a limit of 1 hour. So I just want to check the time. We have another 30 minutes. That's awesome. Do you guys have any questions? I've been making some jewelry. And I have my stickers up and my t-shirts are coming. I have more t-shirts coming. Right? Oh my gosh, Moon Song, you are so correct. That could have been the case. She said it's good thing it wasn't a rookie who had something to prove. You're right. I would have had to cry a lot more. Oh gosh, that would have been terrible. Something. Rookies are the worst. Yeah. So yeah, I was making some more jewelry. I made these little pendants. I don't know. I was playing around with this mold that I have, and I thought these came out really cute. I did them in different colors, and then I have like the starfish. I've been playing around. I'm gonna do I haven't put them up in my shop yet. Did you get a lawyer, Laura, to get all that done? No, I'm going to. But and then the little shell. I did get the forms all downloaded, and I'm gonna have my friend notarize them, who's a notary, and we'll get that all taken care of. Yeah, after I got the ticket, I called Tammy back. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't get the ticket. She let me go. Yeah, that was a day, and I was like, I gotta calm down. Yeah, you know, you're walking around in a fog for at least the first week. I was just like, I had friends that were driving me to the hospital every day, and back. His boss got me a hotel room a couple nights. He said anytime I needed it, they had so many points, and they got me a room a couple nights down there, so I wouldn't have to drive back. My kids are teenagers, and with the dogs, they were able to take care of things while I was gone. Bye, Trendy. Or are you going? Who's going? Thank you, Lori. I don't know why I raised my voice. Like she can hear me down here. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Oh, you're at the ER? Oh, I'm so sorry, Joy. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. And if you guys can hit the thumbs up on your way now, if you can hit the 3 dots up there and go to hit the thumbs up, that helps too. Spirit Sweet Pea, how's your husband doing? He's doing very well. He made a cameo appearance in the beginning of the video, and said thank you to everyone who wished him well and a speedy recovery, and everybody who sent cards and well wishes and prayers. He wanted to say thank you to everyone. So I did a video. I don't know if Marie was on still. Trendy Finds. I did a video. Marie sent me a box, and so I did a video with opening that and some friend mail and the Michael's grab bag, mystery grab bag. That'll be posted probably after this video. I have it all done, but I couldn't get it up in time before the video. So what else is going on? Let's see. Well, it's really gorgeous. I feel like I totally missed June. Like, didn't even see outside, even though I was outside every day and drove. I was just like in a fog. And then after that week, after about 2 weeks, you're like, so we weren't really sure how well his cognitive skills would come back or how well they would be. So I was talking to Kathy on the phone several times, and like, what? I don't know. I'm going to have to figure things out because, he was the main breadwinner here in this family. So, we just have to see. He's definitely retiring. I don't know if we're going to do disability. I have a call with Social Security coming up, and then I do have an interview tomorrow. So I'm going to go see how that works out. We'll see. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. Hi, Colleen from Australia. Yes, there was an angel watching over, no doubt. I'm sorry about that, Jan. That always happens. Hugs back to you, Kathy. Right? Exactly, Kitty. I mean, it was my fault. I was speeding. So, um, yeah. And she didn't even really lecture me too much. I mean, she had the kindest heart, let me tell you. She had the kindest heart. She was very gentle in talking to me about any. She knew. I didn't deny it. I didn't say I did it. I was very careful in what I said. She would tell me how fast I was going. I was like, yeah. So I just listened to her talk. Right? Right, Mimi? You know it. Okay, tell your mom hi, Kathy. Take care. Yeah, I didn't need to be speeding though, I guess. It's gonna do nobody good if I get hurt. Yeah, I agree. So I'm kind of boring, I guess. I don't know what else to say. Um, I know a lot of people shared their own stories of struggles and heart attacks. And I have to tell you, it really helped me, you guys sharing all that information, because that's what I was seeking. I wanted to seek out hope and know that people who've gone through a similar situation have survived and come out at the other end, because it was so scary. I just didn't know. I just didn't know how it was going to be. Yeah, I did. Oh. So yeah, that's that. And then tomorrow I have this interview going on. It's local, so I don't have to drive very far for it. Thank goodness. But it's in front of a panel of commissioners with three of them. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. Okay, I'm a lot nervous. That's going to be kind of nerve wracking, but you know, if I get it, it's meant to be. If I don't get it, it's not meant to be. So I'm still going to keep plugging away and trying to, make my way on this channel and through other things that I'm doing. And there you go. Hi, Missy. Thank you for joining us. Do you have any questions? Yes, that's right. The Loving Clutches says the stress once your loved one comes home is also very stressful. So that is a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Um, because that was very stressful. I had so much anxiety the night before he came home, because I thought, my gosh, there's doctors and nurses where he's at now. And now he's going to come home. And all I could imagine is the same thing going on. And I would be alone and have to call 911. And I didn't want to have to relive an incident like that. And I had all this anxiety, and everybody's like, aren't you excited about him coming home? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm happy and excited that he's coming home, but I'm super like anxiety ridden about it, because I just was so nervous if I was going to be able to handle an emergency, if anything else new would happen. And I mean, I'm on him. I'm like, I had to make a medication chart. Thank you, Chat GPT. So I put in all his medications and when they're due, and came up with a numbers chart so that I knew which ones were given when, how many times a day, and I could just check off the box. And I did that for the next month, so I don't have to worry about it or think about it. I have things lined up the way they should be, so that we make sure he's on his medication, because his follow-up to the cardiologist isn't even until the end of July, which I think is insane, because we haven't really ever talked to a cardiologist. All we did was, they're like, yep, he had 100% blockage. There was no like aftercare. It was more life-saving care in the ICU and at the rehab. Rehab was just to make sure he was strong enough to come home. You know what? I probably could. I could take them to the pharmacy. I think they charge you a couple bucks for that service. So Trendy True North said, can they do blister packs for him? Yeah, they can. They can. But I definitely forgot all about that. Actually, I forgot that that is a option. Not all pharmacies do that, but I think his particular pharmacy does do that. So I could bring all his medications in and have him do that. Um, but I think I have it all set up now. I should have thought about that first. Thank you, Beverly. So I did, Missy. I called the cardiologist's office and I said, can we be seen sooner? You don't have anything sooner? And she checked because they have different locations here and down south. And they didn't have an opening. But we're on the callback list if there's a cancellation. So, I mean, there probably will be cancellations. So we could be seen a lot sooner. We'll see. And then another thing people don't think about is like when you're going through CPR and all this, he had a loose bridge up here, which is probably why you didn't see him smile so much, but it knocked his bridge out. So we have to go to the dentist. So I made that appointment. That's coming up, and that's just an evaluation. So, and then, all the bills are rolling in. They don't wait. As soon as you're discharged, baby, those bills start to show up. So I have to work out all that. So I'm working through everything. Yes, Tammy, my community, she wanted me to share with you how well my community is supportive and helpful they were. They were, let me tell you, um, my neighbors all around us were there. They started a meal train that first week. Everybody at work was bringing over meals. Um, I had rides. I had that first week when I really needed it until I got out of that fog. Somebody was with me, and we're all close friends. I call it his work, but we're all good friends. And somebody was with me or drove me or gave me a hotel room or was with me still. It's just like they all came through. If I needed any kind of yard work done that first week, they took care of it. And then I said, hey, my teenager son, I can kick him out there. He needs to start doing that now a lot more often. So, but that first week, somebody came and mowed our lawn from his work, our good friend there. And then just everything. And then on Friday, they came back and they finished hanging the light and fan that I have in this room now. It's so amazing because in the very beginning, I remember the ER asked me who they could call for me. And even before we left the house, the sheriff was trying to talk to me and ask me who could they call for me. And I'm like, no one. We don't have anybody here. We don't have any family left. And it was just, you feel so alone when you say those words. But in reality, I wasn't really alone. I didn't know. I couldn't think that far. And so it's just, when I needed it, it happened. It came through. And then everybody on the YouTube community with the creators, the followers, all of you guys, everybody, there's no difference. You guys all came through and showed your support. When I would feel down or doubtful about outcomes and what was going on when we had hiccups, I could come on and read some of the comments, and you're right. You brought me back down to earth. You brought me back to prayer. You brought me what I needed to uplift me and lift me up, and I needed that so very much. I gotta check the time. We have more time. Okay. Yeah, it was very nice, and I really do appreciate all of that. You just really don't even know. I'm sure every single one of you, if you feel like you're alone, if somebody knows what you're going through or feels it or senses it, you're going to find you're not alone. You're going to find support where you didn't even imagine was there. So I really do appreciate that. It helped me greatly. We didn't know who was coming home. We didn't know who or how he would be, what extra services we would need. So as you can see, most of you saw him when when he came in and said hello and thank you, he every day I see more of his personality coming back, and it's unbelievable, unbelievable. But I believe it because I believe in God, and love and prayer. Oh, thank you, Linda. I love you guys all. I love you all. I had no idea about this community. Yes, I am. I am more aware. Following it with me, Moss, is now I'm more knowledgeable about the signs and what to look for. You so true, so true. And I think he had like high blood pressure one night earlier this week, and so I started monitoring his blood pressure. Of course, it's all normal now. So it could have just been like a little AFib or a little flutter, which they say when the heart gets damaged like that. I mean, that can be a normal thing that happens afterwards. So, yeah. And the kids were very scared. They saw him that first night where he was unresponsive. They saw him at the house. And then I didn't bring him back to the hospital for that first. I didn't bring him to see him until we were in the rehab. So 2 weeks in the hospital, in the ICU. And that's because he was scary looking. And I didn't want to traumatize those kids anymore. He was hooked up to everything. He had about 9 different IVs of medications, strong stuff going through his system. He couldn't speak to them. And, I was there talking to them, telling Bob, talking to Bob the whole time. So I just felt I was being overprotective, right or wrong. That's how I felt. And then on Father's Day, when he felt more like himself and he was at the rehab, I remember driving there and the kids were with me on Father's Day and they were like quiet. They were so nervous. They told me later. I figured they were nervous, but later on they said, we were so scared and they didn't know what to expect. And they were so happy when they saw him because he was a lot more like himself. He still had a feeding tube in and things like that on Father's Day, but man, he was able to speak and he knew them and he could, really communicate. So yeah, insurance is going to cover a big portion of it, but there's a big cap out of pocket. And that's something that I'm going to have to work through, Wendy. So Bob he did get a stent when he was flown in there that first night. He's flown to the hospital that has a cath lab. And they put a catheter up through the groin, and then they go into the heart, and they insert a stent. And they found he had 100% blockage. They call it the widowmaker on the right artery. And they opened that up 100%. He became stable right away as soon as they got that open. But that's when he was unresponsive too. So we didn't know what was going to happen the next day. It was hour by hour, really. And so that was unknown. We didn't know what was going to happen. Anybody got questions or anything else? Yeah, there's just a lot you got to think about. Life is precious and you take it for granted sometimes because you get into your routines and you get going, and sometimes you're like, look away for a second. Yeah, the first 24 hours, crazy stuff. But just having him open his eyes after that first day, but the eyes were open, but I wasn't sure who was in there because it was he couldn't speak. He wasn't following commands. And then, you go through, I don't know, anybody's gone through this, they're a little bit, he was so groggy. He doesn't remember any of this, by the way. Nothing, even up to like a week prior to the incident, doesn't remember any of it. But, the medications that they have you on for the ventilator and stuff, he's scared when he wakes up, doesn't really know what's going on. And, so they did have to strap him down a little bit because he was pulling at the cables and the cords and hoses and all that. So that was hard. I definitely didn't want the kids to see all that. Right, exactly. They had to do it. He had no choice. He had to get a stent, Melissa. That's right. And they got it in there immediately. And then I think the thermal cooling of the body for the next week also helped with the brain to recover too. So we had really good doctors and really good service. So yeah, I talked to the guy who was the first one in the house on Friday, and he was so grateful to hear our story because, like he told me, he'd never shocked anybody in 20 years. He'd pulled it out, but it never gave him the direction to actually shock. So Bob was the first one that they had to shock. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to hear that, Lake Cupid. She said her best friend had a widowmaker, and we had no clue until the ultrasound. His mom or mine both passed. Woke him up to get him to go. I'm sorry you had to go through that way instead of how I got to. Yeah. Thank you, Kitty, Wendy, Kitty Street, aka Wendy. Thank you. I love you guys too. So this is my crafting area, and it is full of every kind of craft that you can think of because I like to have craft ADD. I like to try different things. I feel it. I feel the love. I do. I feel it. I feel the support. So we're just going to get back to life and make sure we're prepared and make sure we have things that we need to have in place because we're not getting any younger. We're not. But I do feel like I've lost some weight. He's lost some weight. He's not smoking. He's not drinking. We're both living clean lives right now because we want to live as healthy as we can for the next couple of decades. God willing that we get that. Oh, really, Barb? 3 months? Even after an incident like that? Look at all those hearts come through. Thank you, guys. Wow, 3 months wait time. I mean, we don't even know. They said everything else was open, but I just don't know. I don't know. Like, we want to make sure his eyesight is terrible, he says. He's having a hard time seeing something, and sometimes that's with the medication. Sometimes it's because of the heart. I don't know. Hopefully it's going to get better a little bit more. Thank you, Joy, for joining us. That's Joy from Crazy Train. Have a good evening. It was for you too, Amy. Amy from Hallertime says it was a long time for her mom to see the cardiologist also. Balance was hard for my dad at first. Yes. Yeah, he's better. He's never needed any assistance. We walk down, we have a longer driveway to the street, so we walk down to the mailbox and around the house, and that helps keep him going. And of course, as soon as we did that the first day, all the neighbors came out and they wanted to say hi, so he was excited to see them. Just Jen, I forget, I forget, Jen, what you had going on. Oh yeah, was that last year? My boyfriend has never learned a lesson. Also, trust the doctors. If he needed a quick appointment, he would have. Okay, all right. Thank you, Lake. That helps me feel better. Yeah, well, I guess from what I'm seeing, Linda, a month is good. Oh gosh, thank you, Tammy. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. Can I heart that? Thank you, Tammy. Yes, it is, Amy. It really is. And so many of us are introverts that have started these YouTube channels because it's a way for us. Like, you're an introvert, you still have those feelings like you wish you could be social, you wish you could be you are invited, but you decline a lot of invites because you are an introvert. And oh my gosh, loving klutzes, what are you guys doing? Thank you. You want to be invited and be part of the party, but then you freak out at the last minute, you end up not going. And YouTube has been a place for us to like share that. And when you're not on a live stream, you have that imaginary person you're talking to on the camera when you're creating your videos, and in your mind everything's going great. And it's just, that's the way it is. I don't know how come I can't love on hers? It's not letting me heart hers. That's right. That's I remember now, Jen. It ended up being menopause. That sucks. I'm sorry. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I think that just helped me get my minimum for the month. That's really appreciated. Well, you know, I started this channel. I told Bob when I first started this channel that when we retire, we're going to do this channel together. So I'll get it going and we'll get it started. You know, I'll do Temu hauls because, man, Temu, I could shop like a millionaire and get a ton of stuff. Which, by the way, have you noticed? Yes, there's a lot more Temu products. I can't believe it. I'm so happy, but the prices still are not, they're still not awesomely like they were. They're not as great as they once were. Melissa, thank you. Thank you, guys. I know there's a way to do something here. Let's see. I don't know, do I have this? Oh, because I'm not on StreamYard here. Jen knows all this. I am on StreamYard over here on my phone. Trying not to show my bat wings as I hold up. You know who has skinny arms right now? It's not me. It's that Cheryl for Peace girl. She's got skinny summer arms now. Let's see. Maybe I can get. Oops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened here? Oh, SpaghettiOs. I don't want to end it. I have 3 more minutes on here. Oh, well, thank you, Melissa. That's very, very sweet of you. That lucky Cheryl. Exactly. Yeah, it's the skinny summer arm Cheryl. Woohoo! Oh, hi, Yvette. Hey, Yvette is on. Thank you for joining us. And I don't know if this is going to cut off right at the 60-minute mark, but it might. We have about 3 more minutes to go. I'm jealous too, Jen. I'm jealous too. I have to do my skinny arm. Just imagine I have skinny arms when I raise my arms up. Okay. So I like wearing short sleeves, you know. It's too hot to wear long sleeves, but yeah, what are you going to do? And I used to have really like big muscles. Anyway, so that's my story. Oh my gosh, Linda, you guys, thank you. Thank you, Trendy Finds. Go check her out. And I have that other video will be coming up where I will be able to unbox what you sent me. It's already recorded. So I want to thank you, Marie. That was super sweet. And I can't wait for everybody to see what you sent me. It's so sweet of you. Good night, everybody. I think we're going to, yeah, thank you, Jessie. I'm relieved too. And I'm going to go in there and get ready for my, oh my God, all my girls. Thank you so much, you guys. Well, I'm praying for you too, Linda. I want you to feel better. I don't want you to be in this pain. You guys, that's amazing. I don't know why I can't do that one. It's not letting me do it. Jeez, I think you guys really did help me out there. That's sweet of you. Oh, Kitty, thank you. Nobody had to do that, though. That is so sweet of you. You're gonna make me cry. Cheryl. some of it doesn't let me heart back. I don't know why. Maybe it does when it gets going. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate it. I hope that sharing my story will help you all like see and maybe make some preparations for your own self or recognize certain signs, and also know that you're not alone, okay? And that prayers work. They really do. So I want to thank you all. I know it's going to cut me off here any second now. So thank you all. Oh, okay. Everyone, have a great night. Thank you for joining me. Take care. See you soon. Bye. Thank you, Andrea. Good night. Now I got to figure out how to stop